Ignacio, Gail Rose. Thank you, klezmer people. Yes. So I think we're going to hear a few klezmer songs before we start our service.
Look at us in the round. Just like the challah. Not like this, though. We're bunched together there. We're back. Can you hear me? It should be. What are we starting with?
hear it for our klezmer band to start us off here. Chag Sameach, everyone. So glad you're here. Klezmer, that's all we have for now, right? All right, that sounds so lovely. We're going to begin our Simchat Torah service. It's a brief one tonight, but it's a fun one. We're going to sing Hine Ma Tovu Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is that we are together, gathered together. For those of you online, those of you in person, Happy New Year and Chag Sameach. Let's join together in singing.
Hine Ma Tovu Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tovu Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov. Hine Ma Tovu Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. 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 Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
We're going to pick up our tempo a little bit as we sing Sweet as Honey. One of the ways that the Torah is described is as sweet as honey, and we embrace that sweetness, especially on this Simchat Torah. Let's join together. Sweet as honey.
Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav b'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah, la'asok b'divrei Torah. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue.
Well, Chag Sameach, everyone. So glad you all are here, and I know we're in the round tonight, so I'm sorry that some of you have my back as the view, although it's just as good as the front. As you already heard with our klezmer band tonight, this is a celebration of Simchat Torah that is really a joyous one. We celebrate the Simchat Torah 5786. Will mark one of the most special holiday celebrations we've had for a very long time. We're going to sing our prayers and songs, unroll the Torah, dance with the scrolls, and celebrate this endless cycle of Jewish life and learning. It is impossible, though, to celebrate Simchat Torah without remembering 2 years ago tonight. We danced with the Torah scrolls then, blissfully unaware that only hours later Israel would awaken to horror and heartbreak. What followed were 2 years shadowed by fear, pain, and longing for safety and peace, for homecomings that felt too far away. But thank God, tonight so many of those homecomings have come to pass. The hostages we prayed for after day after day after day, name after name, have finally returned to their families. Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, once filled with tears and prayers, is now filled with singing and laughter and embrace. After 738 days of unimaginable darkness, light has begun to shine again. And while we will always mourn for those whom we have lost and the innocent people who were killed on both sides of this tragic war, tonight there seems to be a peace on the horizon, and that is certainly worthy of our celebration. In the final words of the Torah that we are going to read tonight, which are the very first words of the Torah, as we begin again, it says, "The earth was unformed and void, darkness over the face of the deep. And God said, let there be light. Out of chaos came creation. Out of darkness came light. Out of heartbreak came hope." So tonight, we will embody that light. We celebrate not just survival, but renewal, the courage of our people, the music that returns after silence, the joy that refuses to be extinguished. At the site of the Nova Music Festival in Re'im, there's a sculpture that stands, and it says, "We will dance again." And tonight, with the Torah in our arms, our community in our hearts, light in our souls, we too will dance again together. Let us welcome this Simchat Torah with joy and song and gratitude. We're going to begin by increasing the light as we kindle the lights of this holy festival. We want to ask, does anybody here want to volunteer to light the festival candles this evening? Anybody? We'll all do the blessing together. Okay, great, thank you. We got Libby and Dawn are going to do our candles. We can join together. The words are on the screens in front of you here. We'll see if we can get that second one lit. Will it light? There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom Tov.
Amen. Thank you, guys. Libby, great job. Nailed it. We're going to turn right to the Baruch Hu because we have no Kabbalat Shabbat because we're in a festival here. So we'll invite you, if you're able, to please rise as we join together in the Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? v'divartavam, v'shivtecha b'leitecha, u'vlechtecha b'derech, u'shofecha b'gvunecha, u'kshartam le'od al yadecha, v'hayu l'totefot be'einecha, u'knaftam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני Adonai Elohim. Amen. We're going to invite you, if you are able, to rise as we turn to the Amidah. We'll join together in singing, and then we will get close to our Hakafot. Yalla die die die, 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 yalla die die die. Adonai, Simchat Torah Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Haggadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol. V'zoher asei avot v'imahot, u'mevii geulah livnei b'neihem, למען שמו ואהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מכפר חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ורחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדום מלך, מלך במי ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. למען אתה חיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. You may be seated. We're going to join together in our prayer for peace and wholeness
Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom Bimroma. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Be'ako Yisrael. Bimru Amen. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Be'ako Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, 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 Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Be'ako
Well, everyone, we have gotten to the point, the reason that we're here, and that is to celebrate the Torah, celebrate the end of reading the Torah and beginning the reading of it all over again, this continual cycle of Jewish life. What we're going to do is, in a moment, we have 3 Torah scrolls, and there's a tradition on Simchat Torah to do 7 circumambulations. That was a word that Rabbi Apotheker enjoys using. Seven cycles around this circle that we have in here, as we, not that we're marrying the Torah, but we are acknowledging that the Torah is an important part of our life. So we do 7 circles with the Torah. Then we're going to put 2 of the scrolls away, and we'll very patiently open up one of the scrolls for all of us to see throughout the entire sanctuary. If you're sitting in the front row, the front circle, we're just going to ask if you can take everything off the seats themselves, because the Torah scroll is going to sit on the seats. You don't have to do it quite yet, because we're gonna do our dancing first, and then we will need everyone's help to be able to unroll the Torah. If you're comfortable holding the Torah, kids, you can be on the inside of the circle if you want. People can go in and out. We'll leave a gap between Genesis and Deuteronomy, so you can get in and out of the circle if you'd like to do that without going underneath it. So let's begin. Why don't we have maybe we could do a little bit of music while we're taking the Torah from the Ark, and then we'll join in Shema. Should we sing together maybe a time? We'll sing it again at the end.
Oh,
Tree of
okay.
Life. And why don't we have everyone please rise, and whoever wants to be our first leader. Oh, I should mention also, Gail Rose is going to lead us in the dancing.
And everybody
It's
please
Chaim Hi,
So, come on up to the Ark and let's take care of the Torah.
Me'ushar It's Chaim Hi, the Machzikim B'Togecha, Me'ushar. Shalom, 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 shalom. It is the tree of life, and those that don't fast do it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is the tree of life, and those that don't fast do it, all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom,
And let's join together in Shema. Shema
Yisrael,
Adonai
Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad
Eloheinu,
Gadol Adonenu,
Kadosh Shemo Adonai Tina Romema Shemo Yachdav. Let's start our Hakafot. We're going to go counterclockwise here, and everyone can follow right behind the Torahs. Grab your flags. Let's join together in this celebration, which is truly a celebration tonight.
Okay, dancers, please come forward. Everybody.
That's right. No, it's not.
Everybody, make a circle inside.
No, you're good. Yeah,
We're going to go this way.
this way. This way. There you go. Anybody want to take a Torah scroll for the second? Anybody want to hold the scroll? Anybody want to take a Torah scroll for the third round? Anybody want to take a Torah? Here, go like one. Anyone take a scroll?
I am time. Shocked and by this song.
Shocked and by this song.
Hey, 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 hey. From the beginning. Shocked and by this song.
Simchat Torah. Lo yisagoya goyera. Lo yidu omelama. Lo yisagoya goyera. Lo yidu omelama. Yisagoya goyera. Lo yidu one more round. We got one more song.
Oh, sure.
No.
Hava Nagila again.
Hava Nagila. Hold on, pause for a moment. Okay. Got it?
Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, praise the Lord. Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, praise the Lord. Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, praise the Lord. Hava Nagila, Hava
All right. Come on, grabbing the crowns off of there. Thank you. All right, everyone. So if we could maybe everyone could stand behind the first row of chairs, and I could use some help unfurling the Torah scroll. Let's see, I'm gonna stick. Can I get that to you? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Andrew, you can keep the music going. Let me just put this on my wrist here. All right. And can I give that to you, Hillary? Okay. Great. So, thanks, Eric. I set it right to the middle, so we should be good. If you want to start this way, and we can start this way here. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Okay, coming through here. Hey, guys. If you go behind the first row, everyone behind, and we need people to stand behind the chairs and hold on. Hey, Susie and Susan, do you mind standing by the? You can put it right on the back of the seat here. There you go. Perfect. All right. How you guys doing? Good. Glad to have you.
How you doing?
This is always a good wrist
How are
workout.
you?
I know that's all right. Hello. No, you know what? The gap is going to be just fine. Where are we? Okay, good. You guys are at Divarim. So I don't know if my gap is going to be in the right spot. Hold on here. Let's see. Getting close to the end. You guys got the end of Deuteronomy over here. Okay, Barry, do you want to move over a bit and just grab the end of this thing here? So we have one more column. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna put it like that right there. Okay. And any kids who want to duck under, if you guys want to come inside, you can duck under. The gaps in the chairs didn't quite work the right way, but we're close. We may actually be in the right spot for there to be a nice gap over here. Let's see, we're at the Akedah. Means, Eric, you getting tired? Do you want me to switch out? You good? All right. You've been working out for this moment. Well, it was rolled to the exact middle, so it did not give you the harder side. Right. Right, this is looking great. We are at the beginning of monotheism over here. Good times. Here, yep. Well, let's bring this closer to the chairs, guys. And Donnie, if you don't mind, yeah, thank you. She's right, yeah, she's over here. All right. That's right. Oh, that's a good idea, Brandon. Perfect, if you want to put that right there. And then we got a nice entrance right over here. Maybe we can move this chair. If any kids want to come around, you can come in and out over here. There's a big gap. And everyone, take a look. This is the Torah scroll completely open. Look at how huge it is, everyone. Can you believe it? All right, let me go through here. So what we're going to do is, hopefully everyone, or a few of you guys have some cards. It's okay if Zach falls off of there. Yes, great. Some of you guys have some cards. What we're going to do is, we're going to start going through the Torah. What I thought we could do is, we're going to just look at a little bit as we go here. We're going to go through the Torah starting at the end of Genesis all the way back towards the beginning of Genesis. And I wanted to point out a couple of things at each book. If there's anybody here who has a Torah portion that you have remembered off the top of your head, you can certainly jump in. I know Sammy Barlev is going to chant a little tiny bit of Torah. If anybody else wants to do that. And Carol, if you want, you guys can put this down here on this if you like. It might be a little easier to rest it on there. There you go. Yeah, you can definitely rest the scroll on the chairs, on these holy chairs. Okay, great. Okay, so, well, we're going to get to the creation story in a moment. Let me just show you a couple of interesting things in the scroll as we go here. And then we're going to look for the reader from who has the end of Bereshit, the end of... you got that? Okay, hold on one second. Let me grab you a microphone. Before you read that, we're actually all going to do the blessing together. But here, hold on to this for a second, Barry, and I'll tell you when. Let me just show everyone over here. This is the beginning of the Torah. This is the very, very beginning of creation. We're going to read that in a moment. That's the first letter is Bereshit. The first letter is Bet there. Over here, this is where Abraham begins his journey. This is where God says, Lech lecha, go forth, Abraham, go away from your parents' house and try something new called monotheism. That's the very, very beginning of that. And that, of course, we know that Judaism, Islam, and Christianity all come from this moment in time. Over here we have the Akedah. This is where Abraham almost kills his son Isaac. Not the best parenting moment, but a foundational moment for our people. And then over here, we're getting to the very, very end of the book of Genesis. We have the story. We have Jacob, and then we have Esau, the twins who fought each other. Am I right? And then we have the Joseph story to end off the book, and then we get to the very end of Bereshit. All right.
Joseph died at the age of 110 years, and he was embalmed and placed in a coffin in Egypt.
That is the very end of the book of Genesis. And now we're going to start the book of Exodus. Now, if you can see over here, you can see there's a big gap. That's how you know that you're between two books in the Torah. There's I would say about a 2.5-inch gap here. And if you see it in there's five books in here. So if you see that big gap in other places, you'll know that's kind of the signpost for the end of one section, the beginning of the other. So this is the end of Genesis. Do we have a reader for the beginning of Exodus?
These are the names of the children of Israel who came to Egypt with Jacob, each coming with his house.
Amazing. Thank you. So that is the beginning. This is the narrative of our people. It's a very exciting moment here. And why don't we just pause here at this section? Maybe I'll chant a little bit of this. Could everyone see? If you can see over here, let me get out of the way so you can see it. This is called Shirat Hayam. This is the Song of the Sea. You can see I think it is the most beautiful visual thing in the Torah, because if you stand back, it does kind of look like two walls of water, and the Israelites are these middle letters, these middle words that are going through here. Visually, I think it's really beautiful. It has our very famous prayer, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Let me just chant a little bit of this so you can see how it actually sounds different than the rest of the Torah. Here's how it sounds. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei feleh. Let's do that all together again. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei feleh. That is beautiful, and that is the Israelites have crossed the shore, they've crossed the sea, they're to the other side. Among other things, it talks about God as a man of war, which is a little weird. We'll maybe touch that at another point. But then we get over here, you'll see the Israelites have very quickly, you can see just visually how quickly it is. Here's the end of the Exodus. Right here is where the Ten Commandments happen. So you can see how fresh this is for the Israelites. We're only talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns later. It's not very long in the journey that we have the Ten Commandments. This is the moment when they are standing at the foot of Mount Sinai. Moses presents this first set of the Ten Commandments. We have that right here, and you'll see there's another spot where we have the Ten Commandments also. So now we're getting through the Exodus narrative. We are now into the wilderness here. And over here is where we learn about the building of the tabernacle, the portable sanctuary of the Israelites. And then we get to the end of the book of Exodus. Do we have a reader for the end of the book of Exodus? Yes, Jacob, all right.
Moreover, the tabernacle, a cloud of the eternal rested by day, and fire would appear in it by night, in the view of the house of Israel throughout their journeys.
Beautiful. By the way, if anybody has questions or comments, or you want to see something else, please stop us along the way. We're making good progress here. Next up, we're here at the beginning of Vayikra. Now, if you're standing really close by here, if any kids want to come over here and see it, you can. There's actually like a tiny little aleph at the end of Vayikra. If you take a look here and see, anybody else want to see the really small aleph? You guys want to take a look? Come over and see. Rather than being normal size, they went down a couple font sizes, and we have that little tiny aleph. And one of the reasons that we have that aleph, some people think, is because Moses was so humble that he made himself smaller. And that aleph represents that humility, that humbleness. So, okay, great. So now we're in the book of Leviticus. This is sometimes called the book of law. This is the whole sacrificial cult, as it's called, that is described here. A lot of it doesn't apply maybe necessarily today, but if you look a little bit deeper than the actual text itself, there are a lot of messages about sacrifice that are really important, about where we kind of putting our money where our mouths are. So we have the beginning of this whole system, and now we get to the very, very middle of the Torah, which is right here. You can see it says, Mindy, you're close by, and you know this Torah portion. This is called Kiddushim. Vayidaber Adonai al Moshe lemor, daber al bnei el kol adat bnei Yisrael, ve'amarta alehem kiddushim tihiyu, ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. And this says, we should be holy because God is holy. And God tells the people, try to be like me. Try to be holy people. This is the very center of the Torah, which is some people describe as the heart of the Torah. And the idea of holiness, the idea of being a blessing to other people is so important that it is the very, very middle word of our Torah here. So now we're moving right along here. And the next thing that I marked out here is we have the first point in the Torah where we talk about blessings and curses. I feel like we talk about this a lot as we get into the book of Leviticus and into Numbers and Deuteronomy. God says to the Israelites, if you follow my ways, you're going to have all of these blessings. If you go astray, the curses are not so great. And this is repeated over and over again, but really it starts right here. And now we are finally nearing the end of the book of Leviticus. Do we have a reader for the end of Leviticus?
These are the commandments that God gave to Moses with the Israelite people on Mount Sinai.
Yes, all right. Thank you for that. And what about the beginning of the book of Numbers? All right. Steve.
On the first day of the second month, in the second year following the Exodus from Egypt, God spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tent of meeting, saying,
Beautiful. Yep, I know it's a little bit of a cliffhanger right there. If we come over here, at the beginning of the book of Numbers, again, the Israelites are still in the wilderness here. We have a very beautiful and famous blessing. I don't know, any kids want to come and see this? You can see it looks different than everything else around it. It's kind of written in a little parabola. And it says, Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. And it sounds like this. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Isa Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Oops. V'yasem lecha shalom. And this is a blessing where we ask God to give us peace and to grant us peace. Can you guys see the shin that's right there? Isn't that cool? It's very pretty. It's got little decorations on it. And the spaces around it, yeah. Oh, the space does kind of look like a half, yeah. And interestingly, if you guys look at the Torah, you'll see that the sides of the columns are justified, that they're straight, but the Torah does not use space to justify it like we do, like in Microsoft Word back in the day or in Google Docs. What it does is it stretches out certain letters so that the spaces are all the same in every Torah scroll, and the letters are stretched out so that we can have these columns. That's why if you look down at some of these letters, you'll see they look really stretchy. And that's why they do that. So now over here, let's see here. We have a really weird thing over here. There's two nuns that are backwards. There's backwards nuns. Does somebody think that the scribe made a mistake here? No, I don't think so either. See that nun right there? That one's upside down and that one's backwards. I don't know if you can, it's not Cyrillic, but that's a nice idea. They did do it on purpose. What they say is this is the Torah's only set of parentheses. This is a spot talking about when Moses would carry the Ark of the Covenant around, and the ancient rabbi said, this was actually supposed to be earlier in the text. This is supposed to be in Exodus, but it got placed here by mistake. So they have this kind of this little parenthetical section here. But it's really cool. It's cool to see that it stayed in the text the way it is. Now we're coming up to the to Bamidbar. Sammy, do you want to do your little section? Why don't you come over here and I'll show it to you in the Torah, and then you can do it from your sheet. Yeah, you can come in. There's a Torah door over here between Torah Dora. That's right. Between these chairs. Yes, all right. Sammy's bat mitzvah is May 16th. You're all invited. And she's going to be chanting. She's already working with her tutor, Gail Rose. And you want to do, so you're going to be right over here. You want to just do it from your sheet? Just maybe the first two verses? Beautiful. Nicely done. Great job, kiddo. You made your tutor so proud. Look at her over there. The last thing I want to point out in the book of Numbers, we're getting to the end here. We have a very famous blessing. Do you guys remember the song that we sing on Shabbat morning? Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov. That comes from the end of a crazy story with a guy named Balaam and a guy named Balak and a talking donkey that gets beaten down. But finally, there's this blessing given. How beautiful are your tents, O Israel, your dwelling places, O Jacob. And the idea is that the Israelites are blessed from this moment on. So we're getting near to the end of the book of Numbers. Do we have a reader for the end of the book of Numbers? Okay. Thanks, Ange.
These are the commandments and regulations that God enjoined upon the Israelites through Moses on the steppes of Moab at the Jordan near Jericho.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for ending off the book of Numbers. And how about the start of the book of Deuteronomy? Yes. Okay, Miriam. Thank you. Here, maybe Ange can run over there with a microphone for you.
These are the words that Moses addressed to all Israel on the other side of the Jordan.
These are the words. So people say that Deuteronomy is kind of a recapitulation of the rest of the Torah. It's Moses' big speech to the Israelites that he gives before he dies. And they say that he spoke for 2 weeks straight. That is the idea. So, it's a long time. Talk about a filibuster. So you'll again notice the gap here between Numbers and Deuteronomy. And we begin Deuteronomy, and Deuteronomy begins with some very, very famous stuff. The first thing that we have here is the second recitation of the Ten Commandments. We're really big on the not murdering. And then we have maybe the most famous blessing. Adina, can you read this upside down? Right there. Yes, the Shema comes from this part. And if any kids want to see it, it's really cool. The ayin in Shema and the dalet in Echad are bigger than the other letters. They're emphasized here and together that means witness. It means aid. It means that we have to bear witness to all of God's glory. So we have Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, as Adina so beautifully chanted for us just a little bit ago. And then we are going to go, right after that, by the way, right after it starts something that everyone in this room probably has heard many times. You guys want to chant this together? Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha V'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha. The whole first paragraph of the Ve'ahavta is right here. It's a cut and paste job from our Torah into our prayer book. And here's where it comes from in chapter 6. All right, so now we're going to skip over a bunch more stuff. And finally, we're going to get towards the very, very end of the Torah. This is Nitzavim, the Torah portion that Sarah Naaman likes to read. And Nitzavim is also what we read on Yom Kippur when we're all standing together, hungry, tired, exhausted. Nitzavim is the Israelites standing for one last go, as Moses tells them, reminds them of what is to befall them. And finally, here we are getting to the very end. You can see there's more poetry here in Ha'azinu at the very, very end of the Torah portion. It's sometimes called the poem of Moses. And finally, we get to the very, very end of the book of Deuteronomy. And do we have a reader for the end of Deuteronomy?
Never again did there arise in Israel a prophet like Moses, whom God singled out face to face the various signs and portents that God sent him to display in the land of Egypt against Pharaoh and all his courtiers and his whole country for all the great might and awesome power that Moses displayed before all Yisrael.
Beautiful. So I'm going to chant this right now. This is normally Rabbi Lynette's part to chant, so I've got a cheat sheet here. But before we do that, we're going to do the blessing before the reading. And let's do this together, because then we're going to get to the very beginning of the Torah. So, 1, 2, 3. Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah, amen, v'lo kam navi od b'Yisrael k'Moshe, Asher yado Adonai panim al panim l'chol ha'otot v'hamishpachotim asher shalacho Adonai la'asod ba'eretz Mitzrayim l'faro ulcho avadav u'lechol artso u'lechol hayad ha'hazaka u'lechol hamorah hagadol asher asa Moshe Le'enei kol Yisrael. And as David so beautifully read that a moment ago, this is we say never again did there arise a prophet like Moses in Israel. So within the same aliyah, within the same breath, we finish the Torah. And just like our favorite series of books, we start reading it all over again with the creation story. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz V'ha'aretz hayta tohu v'avohu v'hoshech al pnei tahom v'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim v'yomer Elohim yihi or v'yihi or v'yar Elohim et ha'or ki tov v'yabdel Elohim bein ha'or u'bein ha'hoshech v'yikra Elohim la'or yom v'lahoshech kara layla v'yihi erev v'yihi voker yom echad. Let's do the blessing together after. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah, amen. Before we close up the Torah, does anybody have any comments or any questions or anything that we want to know more about this Torah scroll? It's all handwritten, by the way. The scroll itself is all, as you know, handwritten by a sofer, by a scribe. It takes about a year to write. This scroll itself came from the Zanesville congregation that closed down. We actually only have it on permanent loan. We don't know exactly how old it is, but it's certainly not a young scroll. Any other questions? Yes, Debbie. I think a lot of congregations these days do the opening. A lot of Reformed congregations do the opening, the full Torah scroll itself. Yeah, it's really cool to see the whole thing open and to be surrounded by the text. It's really cool. Yes. So this Torah, we only know that it came from the Zanesville congregation, but we don't know any of its history. We don't know how old it is and how they acquired it. Because when they gave it to us, they did not give us any documentation. They didn't have any. The congregation had already closed up shop by that point. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Adina.
Why are there little kind of stitches here?
It's a great question. So the panels are all stitched together. So you see, rather than using tape or using a stapler, they're all sewn together with a thread and a parchment thread and a needle. So that's why they're kind of stitched together. There's a couple spots where the stitching is coming a little bit loose. Right over here near Tara, you can see the stitching seeming a little bit loose. This Torah needs a little bit of love. It needs to be repaired. Yeah, so that's a good question. So if you're the scribe and you're working on part of the Torah scroll and you screw something up, the good thing is you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning. You can just go back to the page that's sewn in. And in fact, our other Torah scroll, the big one, we've replaced pages on it, and we have the old ones in the other room. Yes?
So this doesn't feel like paper. Is it?
You are totally correct. It is not. Yeah, it's called parchment, and it's like a lambskin or a sheepskin. That's why it kind of feels different than paper. You're totally right. Yep, it's parchment. Any other questions? Yes, Beth. Yeah, so for a long time, Rabbi Apothekar and I were doing repairs to the Torah scrolls, but then we gave the scroll to a sofer who is now lives in Israel, and he said tell the quote doctors at Temple Beth Shalom to stop doing that. So we haven't done that for a while, but yeah. So a sofer will write a Torah, but they also repair Torah scrolls, and there's an outfit out of Florida called Sofer on Site that a lot of folks use. They're really good and responsive, and they can come to the congregation to do like a program so everyone can see how it all works. Yes, Brandon.
So those Jewish confession cloths.
Okay.
Are these things like individually insured? Is there like some sort of policy? How does one insure?
So they are insured. I'm going to turn to Bobby for the answer to that because I don't know how the insurance technically works. Oh, that's good to know. They've been in my car a lot recently, going back and forth to religious school. That's great. That's great. Good question. Very Jewish. I don't know. We actually the congregation's original Torah scroll is a Holocaust scroll from a synagogue in Prague, and we unrolled it one time and put pictures up, and we got a call from the trust from which we are borrowing this Torah saying that we're not actually allowed to do that, because it's a little bit too dangerous for those scrolls. They're too precious to do that too. So we've been using this one ever since, because the big one is just very, very big. So, but yes, I'm hoping that the insurance covers this. It has ripped one time before during this, and only a little bit, and it was repaired by a sofer. So that's why we treat it very carefully. Yes, Bart.
Yeah, when you're learning to be a rabbi, do you learn that saying the entire end to end?
It would be very time consuming. So what you do is you learn how to chant the Torah itself. There's a system that was introduced around 1000 CE by these guys called the Masoretes, who decided to take this Torah scroll and make it more uniform. And so you learn a system of trope so that you could learn any section, but to memorize the entire Torah in the correct trope would be a lot. It would be a lot. I'm sure there are some folks who can do it, but it would be a lot, that's for sure. Yes, Nick.
So not a question, but an idea I had was, we talk about doom scrolling.
Yes.
I'm thinking more about Torah scrolling.
Yeah, it's the opposite of the doom scroll. Yeah, this is the love scroll. I love it. That's great. No doom scroll. Yes.
Rabbi, what happens if the Torah gets dropped? Do we have to do anything special?
It's a good question. Can we talk about it after we put it away?
Oh, okay.
No. If the Torah gets dropped, there is the idea that you were supposed to fast for 40 days. It's only a daytime, not a nighttime fast. But what has happened in congregations around the world is when this happens, people each take a day and fast in honor of that. And we kind of make it into a teachable moment. We have had a Torah scroll fall out of the ark before during a bar mitzvah. Gail, you don't remember this? That's fair. It was put away. It was put away a little too quickly, and it slipped out. There was no damage to it, but it was quite the jarring moment. Yes, we had one uncle of a bat mitzvah who had a lot of machismo, but didn't have the muscle to match it, and that was scary. Yes, Terry. Oh, that is a great question. If you ask Siri, she will know the answer to that. I do not know off the top of my head. I don't know. I really don't know how many. We can count them up. Or if you Google it, I'm sure that you can very quickly find that answer. I just don't know off the top of my head. Columns. Yeah, you can say how many columns does a Torah scroll have? And every Torah scroll has the same, every Torah scroll has the same amount of columns. Yes, question. Jake Barlev.
What's the difference between the smaller Torah and the bigger Torah?
It's a great question. What's the difference between the smaller? We actually have a small, a medium, and a large Torah, and it is really just the size. Well, let me say, this Torah and the big Torah, it's really just the size of the actual writing itself. It's not about the gaps are all the same and the columns are all the same. Now, our Torah that we have, that's the Holocaust scroll from the one that was written in 1802. That one is a little bit more abnormal than most Torah scrolls because those columns are a little bit longer than they normally are. So that one's not as uniform as most of them. But yeah, it's just really the font size is the big difference between the big and small. Yes, Samantha. So it's a good question. Is the whole thing a story or is it sections? Within each book, there are stories. There's what's called narrative, and there's also a lot of law material. There's a lot of stuff that just teaches us about what it means to be the Jewish people. You guys know you can ask me these questions at home, right? All right. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Noah. You know, it looks like there's a Band-Aid on the back. If you look, and some of them, that actually is parchment tape that goes on the back, and that's actually not from Rabbi Apotheker and me. That's actually legit that you can put that on at the back of the Torah scroll. Yes, Marvin. It's a really, really good question. If you didn't hear, he asked, are there differences between an Ashkenazic and a Sephardic Torah? And how they're actually written, no. They're written the same way, but how they're presented is totally different. If you ever have seen a Sephardic Torah, it's in a big case, and the case opens almost like a clamshell. I know that's not kosher, but almost like a clamshell, so that you read it within the case itself rather than unrolling it like we have here. Yeah, that's a great question, but it's the same text. These are so many great questions. Anybody else have a question? Oh my God, another Barlev?
Which words are there in the Torah?
How many words? That's another question that I don't have the answer to, but if you ask Siri or ChatGPT, either of them will know. No, not at all. Especially if it's not from my family. Yes.
Could you show me where it says that Miriam led the women in the dancing?
Yes. So where does it show that Miriam led the women dancing? It actually is right. It's right here, right before we get to this section. Let's see. B'Mitzrayim Yaram, Azishir Moshe, Uvnei Yisrael, Marta Alehem, Ashir Ladonai. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think Miriam is at the very end. It says that she's dancing. Hold on here. Here we go. V'natan Lahem Miriam, Shiru Ladonai, Kiga Oga'a, Susvarokvo Rama Vayam. Right there. Miriam, you did it. Yes, good job leading the people. All right, thank you. Yes, Terry, did you find the answer? 245 columns.
Each column has 42 lines.
Perfect.
And there are approximately 79,980 Hebrew words in the Torah, along with 304,805 letters.
All right. Go directly to Jeopardy with that information. You're going to score big. That's great. That is good to know. Very fun. Especially for numerologists, it's very fun. Yes, Adina. You know, that's a really good question. If you didn't hear it, it says, why are the words poetic in some spots and not in others? And the Torah is a really beautiful mix between prose and poetry. There's a lot more prose than there is poetry, but in those poetic sections, like we pointed out, it's really cool to see them looking a little different. Then you know you're looking at a poem instead of the regular Torah. Yes, Zalman. That's a great question. Why are some letters stretched out? And that is so that the columns can be very straight, so they can be justified. So the Torah stretches the letters like on a taffy pull in Willy Wonka. Stretches the letters out so that they can be so that we can have straight lines on each side of the column. Otherwise, the columns would look so wonky with some of them ending before others. Any other questions? What's that? I don't know anything about that, but that's a cool idea. Yeah, you certainly can do that. Yeah, yes, I like that. Anybody else before we close the Torah back up and then close up our service? Oh, that's a great question. So yes, there are Braille Torah scrolls. They're not like kosher Torah scrolls, but yes, they do make a Braille Torah scroll. Like a kosher version? I don't know the answer to that. Yeah. Certainly they exist. I just don't know. Like for our purposes, of course, yes, they'd be kosher. In a strictly Orthodox purpose, I'm not sure. I don't know that they are. But it's a good question. Yes, Bart. Why is numbers called numbers? A lot of the books have just the name of the beginning of the word of the chapter. So sometimes the book's name doesn't have anything to do with the book itself. So numbers starts with a whole census, so that's why it's about numbers. But it really, in Hebrew, it's called Bamidbar, which means in the wilderness. So the two names don't even really correspond. The English, or I guess the Latin and the Hebrew. Good question. Any others? You guys, this is very fun. Very fun. Keeping me on my toes. I don't know. Now I know how many columns and words are in the Torah. That's great. I don't remember actually. Somewhere around 300,000. Yes. Great. All right. Well, why don't we do this? We're all going to rise, and then if someone wants to help kind of roll up the scroll, maybe a few of us can roll the scrolls together. We're going to try to end it up so that we're kind of back in the middle here, and maybe we'll have a little bit of music while we do that. Klezmer band, you can klezmer it up.
Please play the first song, Klezmer
All right.
band.
And I'm going to grab this side. Hey Barry, it's a little bit easier if you hold it kind of horizontally. Then you can roll it up that way again. All right, and we got some of the klezmer band. Whoever we got, we'll get a little bit of music as we roll the Torah away. Klezmer band assemble. All right. Thank you.
What are we playing?
Yes, you found yourself.
Oh, that's you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. It always does, but I can move to the side a bit here. It is. It's definitely harder than unrolling, 100%. And I'll re-roll it tomorrow. Pause for 1 second here. I'm good, thank you. working out every day for 4 years now, and it's all paying off. Peloton strength workout this morning. That was maybe a mistake. I should have saved my energy. 1 second here. Straighten out. Table would have been a good idea. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let's see. We have Wimple somewhere. Nice. Thank you, Barry. Let's sing together. Eitz Chaim He. It is a tree of life as we return the Torah to the ark. And then we'll do a closing song for our service.
Eitz Chaim He, V'machazikim v'tomkecha, Me'ushar Eitz Chaim He, V'machazikim v'tomkecha, Me'ushar. Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom.
We're gonna sing our closing song, Am Yisrael Chai. Let's join together. What a beautiful, and if you want to get up and dance one more time with your friends.
Everybody get up and dance to Am Yisrael High. Let's go. There's food later on.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Oda Binu Chai, Oda Binu Chai. Oda Binu, Oda Binu, Oda Binu Chai. Oda Binu Chai, Oda Binu Chai. Oda Binu, Oda Binu, Oda Binu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael 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 Chai. Oda Binu Chai, Oda Binu Chai. Oda Binu, Oda Binu, Oda Binu Chai. Oda Binu Chai, Oda Binu Chai. Oda Binu, Oda Binu, Oda
Chag Sameach, everyone! Chag Sameach! Join us downstairs, or in the mezzanine. Bobby, where's the food? Join us downstairs for some oneg to celebrate. Chag Sameach.
Phew. That's a lot of strumming.
Band. Thank you, Angelo, Jim, Brad.
Thank you,
Tom,
Klezmer.
Nick.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
The
you,
Klezmer Band.
Band. Woo.
Sorry, I forgot that.
Check, 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 check. Turning this thing off.